We take a look at how Hello Games managed to rise from the ashes of a disastrous launch for No Man's Sky and achieve greatness in modern gaming's competitive landscape. No Man's Sky is a game whose story in the real world is just as interesting as the one it presents in its sprawling, nearly infinite universe. It's a title whose popularity was sky high before its launch, before plunging as deep as its oceans, only to rise again and continue doing so as surely as the sun rises over its many worlds. Its meteoric rise to prominence in modern gaming could serve as an inspiration to others, and as a cautionary tale to many more. For the latter, Mind's Eye and the poor reception of its most recent patch instantly comes to mind as an interesting contrast to No Man's Sky handling of a poor critical and commercial response in its early days. Hello Games must be commended for its ability to actually listen to its feedbacks of its players that it received from journalists and players alike, and the manner in which it embodied grace in its responses. Moreover, letting its work do the talking has allowed the studio to learn valuable lessons along the way, while also building a version of No Man's Sky that's vastly different from the one that originally made a debut on the PS4 and Windows. The version of the game that exists now is sure to raise questions about what exactly made No Man's Sky the game it is today. Fortunately, that's quite easy to answer, so let's dive in. Adding style and substance. Now, it can be quite difficult to summarize everything that No Man's Sky has brought to the table in a slew of content updates and patches that have simply transformed it into one of modern gaming's most ambitious and most unique experiences that enjoys a dedicated community of returning players at every turn, while continuing to bring new players into the fold. One of the ways Hello Games has achieved this is to make the most of the additional firepower that current-gen systems have brought to the table. Its latest Beacon update and an excellent port for the Nintendo Switch 2 are great examples that we will explore in just a little while. Each update to the game has made meaningful additions, guided by one or more of its four pillars: exploration, combat, survival, and trading. While those pillars made it a solid game to begin with, expanding on their respective functionalities has been Hello Games' way of showcasing its ability to build on its original vision. Take the Exomech upgrade that went live in April 2020, for example. The addition of a hulking mechanical robot that the Traveler could pilot was a boon to any player looking to brave new worlds on its own. However, exploring planets faster was not the only feature that the Exomech brought to the table. It allowed for better resource farming, which translated to better trades at space stations. It enhanced the Traveler's survivability with improved resistances to environmental hazards. Upgrading it brought improved combat abilities, enabling it to take on threats like Sentinels and the like with relative ease. It's the perfect example of how Hello Games brought improvements that made players change the way they approached their experience, while still ensuring that No Man's Sky continued to raise the bar for what a video game could do ahead of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S making their debut. Keeping up with the times. With new consoles came great potential and great responsibilities for Hello Games. It had to ensure that its new updates made the most out of the improved graphical and technical capabilities of the next generation of consoles, while continuing to remain accessible to last-gen systems. That's a balance that many developers attempted to achieve with varying results. Several games that launch across generations struggled to find that balance, with last-gen versions pushing aging consoles to their limits while underutilizing current-gen capabilities, with Respawn's Jedi Survivor immediately coming to mind as an example. Hello Games did not let those limitations cramp its style, and No Man's Sky made a successful current-gen debut with its Origins update, laying the groundwork for Update 3.10, adding new worlds to explore alongside a long list of graphical enhancements and some great quality of life changes. With No Man's Sky running at 4K 60 FPS on new consoles, everyone's favorite space explorer just got a whole lot more immersive and engaging for players lucky enough to grab a shiny new console despite Scalper's best efforts. But Hello Games didn't stop there. The Companions update followed soon after, and suddenly the Traveler's adventures were not such a lonely undertaking, as they could now take a helpful alien companion along. It was an addition that was not only nifty in terms of the in-game universe, but was one that worked outside of it, as players could finally live out their Mandalorian fantasies in No Man's Sky. The Origins and Companions updates are excellent showcases of how Hello Games were able to identify and act on current trends in the real world to enhance the experience it brought to the table in its fictional one. That was a talent that continued to serve it well as it looked to the future of No Man's Sky, but wait, there's still more here. Putting the plus in New Game Plus. No Man's Sky obviously achieved immense popularity and a player base who largely forgot that their ire at its less than stellar launch. Where another developer may have decided to move on to a new project, Hello Games decided that it was just getting started. It decided to address a crucial part of the game's narrative, giving players a new incentive to start over after the adventure ended. The Outlaw update soon followed. This update added further twist to the existing gameplay formula, giving players the chance to become rebels whose reputations preceded them with the ability to recruit squadrons and the like. Creative and daring, the Outlaws update worked well with the addition of Sentinels, robotic companions that accompany the traveler on new adventures where they face new threats, with new weapons to deal with them. Each of these updates remain grounded in the game's core philosophy, making each edition work well within their narrative and interactive frameworks. It allowed No Man's Sky to become a gift that kept on giving for both its players and Hello Games alike, and the game continued to be a significant presence in modern gaming and a benchmark for other developers to try and emulate. With the Beacon update and a Switch 2 port that has made excellent use of Nintendo's new flagship, it seems that Hello Games is showing no signs of slowing down its efforts to make its flagship title even better. With the ability to set up and manage multiple planetary settlements serving as a major highlight here, the Beacon update showcases Hello Games' ability to innovate on its existing product, while the Switch 2 has allowed it to breathe new life into the experience that it has on offer, a sentiment reflected in the port's positive reception. Going from a bad example to an inspiration. Hello Games' journey over the years is a reflection of the traveler's own adventures in No Man's Sky. It's an adventure that reflects resilience in the face of adversity and constant innovation to stay ahead of it in the manner akin to the traveler's need to be creative in how they tweak their gear to ensure their survival. It reflects the ability to take inspiration from the world and use that to create advantages that withstand the test of time and critical voices. Just like the traveler needed to carefully navigate nuanced interactions with different alien races, the studio was able to win over those who wrote it off, creating the scope for its extraordinary vision to become an actual reality. When one considers how Cyberpunk 2077 was able to turn things around thanks to CD Projekt Red's clever handling of a poorly received launch, or Sandfall Interactive's clever execution of an ambitious concept, one could argue that Hello Games walked so that those who followed in its footsteps could fly. That's an achievement which is almost as great as No Man's Sky in its current form. It has served as a reason for developers to present upcoming titles with live gameplay rather than promises of good things to come that may not necessarily materialize in the final product at launch. It could also be the reason other developers choose to delay a release in order to ensure it delivers the best experience possible. No Man's Sky deserves its reputation as one of modern gaming's greatest comeback stories, and as the studio behind it, Hello Games deserves credit for staying true to its vision and for having faith in its player base even when the chips were down. We can't wait to see what Light No Fire brings to the table, and if No Man's Sky is any indication, it could be a reflection of everything Hello Games has learned over the years and the potential maturity of a studio that has done its loyal fans justice. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.